Greetings and welcome to this Why Michigan Live virtual information event. I'm Zaneta Adams, an Army veteran and director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, or in other words, the MVAA. Before we get started, we would love for you to give us a shout out as to where you are joining us from and what branch of service you represent. Today, MVAA and the Michigan National Guard are here to talk Michigan, talk opportunities, and talk quality of life. At the end of today's event, we will be opening it up for a live Q&A from our viewers. So please enter your questions in the Facebook chat box below, and we will get to as many as we can. So welcome to our transitioning service members and families from Little Rock Air Force Base. And while we know that you may be dealing with some issues right now related to the hurricane, we wish you well, and let us know if you need anything. Also welcoming families and service members from Fort Hood and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and elsewhere around the country. Also welcome to those who have recently transitioned from the military and have come home to Michigan. Our goal here is to answer the question, why Michigan for your next phase of life? As you embark on that journey, we want you to be successful, have opportunities, and start a positive next chapter. In Michigan, we recognize the value of veterans and the value they bring to the workforce and the value they bring to their communities. With this presentation, we hope you consider Michigan in your next phase. If you're from Michigan, we want you back. If you're not from Michigan, we want to provide you with information and resources you will need to consider for the next phase of life for you and your family. We think we have a lot to offer in all aspects of life. Now, before we continue to move on, here's a short video clip from our governor for you.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Whitmer, the Governor of Michigan, and first I'd like to thank you for your service to our great nation. As you transition out of the military, I'd like you to consider all that Michigan has to offer, from the pristine beauty of the Great Lakes to the hundreds of veteran-friendly employers across our state. We consider Michigan an ideal place to live, work, raise a family, and retire. So thank you again for your commitment and sacrifice, and know that Michigan is fully committed to serving its veterans and their families through all phases of their lives.
So for those of you who may have missed my intro, I'm Zaneta Adams, Director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency and an Army veteran. I served for 8 years as a supply specialist, and my husband was a communications tech, a 31 Lima in the Army. 14 years ago, I sat where you are now, unsure of where to call home, unsure of the next steps my family should take. So I understand the weight of your decisions. And while I can't tell you what to do, I can tell you that the decision that my husband and I made to move our family to Michigan has been one of the best decisions we have made for our family. As a disabled veteran, the wife of a disabled veteran, the mother of 6 children, which includes 2 sets of twins, we had our hands full, and we knew we wanted and needed to find a place to call home that provided employment and educational opportunities while still living close enough to a VA medical center. We found that here in Michigan. I hope you take the time today to learn about everything Michigan has to offer and why we strive at the MVAA to make sure Michigan is the best place for veterans and their families to live, work, go to school, and most importantly, call home. And when we say veterans, we mean all veterans, including women veterans, minority veterans, and other special populations of veterans. The MVAA and other state organizations are here to support every single one of our veterans. So let's talk about the different benefits of transitioning to Michigan, specifically employment, education, healthcare, quality of life, and lastly, continued service in the Michigan National Guard. Now, if you've never visited the Great Lakes states, I can tell you the quality of life opportunities are endless. With over 11,000 inland lakes, 3,200 miles of freshwater coastline, and 13,000 miles of hiking trails, the outdoor enthusiast will have a field day. And whether your taste is rural remote living, urban inner city dwelling, or something in between, they're all here. If you like to get away from it all, I highly recommend a kayak trip on the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore and our beautiful Upper Peninsula, or a visit to Sleeping Bear Dunes outside Traverse City, ranked the most beautiful place in America on Good Morning America. Or maybe you'd rather catch a music concert or a Tigers game in downtown Detroit, or have a beer at one of the hundreds of breweries throughout the state. You can visit michigan.org to see everything Michigan has to offer, or you can just pack your stuff up and come on up. So that's just a sliver of what Michigan has to offer in terms of quality of life. So you've seen the beauty of Michigan. Now, another important aspect of quality of life is employment. So let's talk job opportunities. Dave Dunckel is our employment specialist here at the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. And in case you miss it later, please know that we at the MVAA are here at 1-800-MICHVET. That's 1-800-642-4838. Or you can visit the App Store or Google Play and download our Why Michigan mobile app for more information. The Why Michigan app is geared specifically for transitioning service members and families like yourselves and contains a wealth of information on the benefits and amenities throughout Michigan. So Dave, please give us the 10,000-foot overview of employment here in Michigan.
Well, thank you, Director Adams, and I want to thank Governor Whitmer for that heartfelt message at the beginning of our program. You know, the entire nation has seen historic impacts on the American workforce as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic. And Michigan, well, we've seen our share of challenges also. But, you know, the good news is there are still plenty of our employers that are growing, that are hiring, and most importantly, they understand the value that a veteran and a veteran spouse brings to the workforce. So as a veteran workforce development specialist with the MVAA and also a retired command sergeant major from the United States Army, my job is to work with state and local partners and public and private sector employers to ensure our transitioning service members and their families have multiple career pathways when they choose Michigan as a place to move, work, raise a family, and retire. The keystone of our veteran workforce development model is our MVAA Veteran-Friendly Employer Certification Program. All told, there are nearly 400 veteran-friendly employers that collectively employ over 30,000 veterans across the state of Michigan. Employers from both the public and the private sector, they get vetted by us to ensure they understand the amazing skill sets that transitioning service members and their families bring to Michigan. Our employers, they set veteran hiring goals and they work with us to develop effective veteran and spouse talent attraction strategies. We in turn provide a wide range of no-cost training and consultation on things like military cultural competence and how to retain your veteran employee and PTS in the workplace. As their veteran talent attraction programs grow, our employers rise from bronze level certification to silver, and a handful eventually reach gold level status. Now they do that by implementing things like internal veteran affinity groups or special veteran recognition events throughout the year, and veteran and spouse friendly human resources policies for things like deployments and insurance, things like that. So these are great companies, great organizations like Quicken Loans or Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Roush Industries, the Michigan Department of Transportation, our very own Michigan State Police. All of these organizations have very active veteran and spouse hiring programs, and they are waiting for you to come back home, or they're waiting for you to relocate to Michigan so you can take advantage of some of these great career opportunities. Now, we can also help you with less traditional paths to employment. We work very closely with our State Apprenticeship Expansion Office and with the Department of Labor to expand access to hundreds of apprenticeship opportunities across the state. If entrepreneurship is appealing to you, well, you could not pick a better place to put down roots than Michigan. Small business incubators and accelerators are nearly in every region of the state, and they help guide our innovative entrepreneurs to success. So, to wrap things up, we want you. Michigan is so grateful for the service and sacrifice our veterans and their families have made for our state and our nation. We also recognize the unique skills and the values you bring to the table. And so do our employers, and so do our educational institutions, as you'll hear from Sarah later. We have tremendous career opportunities. And I tell you what, if you're considering continuing your service, there is no better organization than the Michigan National Guard, where you will be a member for life. So, thank you for joining us today. And we're waiting for you with open arms. And with that, I'll go back to Director Adams.
Thank you so much, Dave. Now, if you're interested in learning about just some of those employment opportunities, we are hosting a virtual hiring event on September 9th, where we will have all around 30 employers in different virtual booths able to chat, share opportunities, and answer questions. Even if you're not ready to take a job, I encourage you to join the event and get a small snapshot of what might be out there. Now, maybe employment isn't your next immediate step. Maybe you're looking to use your GI Bill benefits to get some schooling or to do an apprenticeship program. I have Sarah Mellon with us, an education analyst, to talk about educational opportunities for veterans in Michigan. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Director Adams, and thank you, Dave, for sharing more about the career opportunities available in Michigan for transitioning service members and veterans. If you're preparing to or have recently transitioned out of the military and you're exploring options for your career path moving forward, you may be wondering if additional training or education could be part of that journey. Is your current occupation one you plan to continue? Are you looking to change fields and pursue a new occupation? How will your military education, training, and experience be beneficial in your next career? Whether moving to a new occupational field or expanding opportunities in your current field, post-secondary schools throughout Michigan are here to support your career goals. Their programs include degrees, certificates, and apprenticeships. If you're curious which training and education providers often offer veteran-specific programming and services, check out the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency's veteran-friendly schools on michiganveterans.com. Michigan post-secondary schools apply annually to the program and are certified as gold, silver, or bronze level based on how many of our 7 criteria they have met. The criteria include whether schools provide veteran-specific career services, have a designated point of contact for veterans, evaluate military training for academic transfer credit, and much more. In addition to the 7 criteria, we collect information on other services available to veterans. Many schools provide faculty training to share information about the student-veteran experience. Others have developed fast-track or accelerated programs that apply prior military training and experience toward program requirements. Our network of contacts at veteran-friendly schools are also well connected to many community-level resources available off-campus. Our current list of 61 veteran-friendly schools includes public and private colleges and universities, trade, and technical schools. If you're curious about all that veteran-friendly schools have to offer, stop by our online interactive veteran-friendly schools dashboard by visiting michiganveterans.com. Click the Education tab and select Veteran-Friendly Schools. After you've reached the dashboard, you can select the services that are important to you, and a list of veteran-friendly schools providing those services will be displayed. You can also sort, filter, and compare a list of schools. Now that you've viewed the list, are you ready to learn more about your top choices? You can click directly to their website from our Veteran-Friendly Schools dashboard. Also, if you plan to pursue the employment opportunities that Dave shared with us, and you have a spouse or children interested in educational programs, our veteran coordinators and points of contact at post-secondary institutions throughout Michigan are ready to serve the entire veteran family. Now, back to you, Director Adams.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And as a reminder, I want to remind everyone that we'll be doing a live Q&A at the end of this presentation. So if you haven't posted your questions in the chat box, please do so at this time. And we'd still love to hear where you're from, so post that as well. Now, when we talk education, I also think of those who may be interested in entrepreneurship. The University of Michigan has an entrepreneurship minor that is ranked best in the country by Princeton Review. And there's a plethora of entrepreneurial resources elsewhere in the state. I also think of apprenticeships. I'm sure you're getting this covered in your transition assistance classes, but apprenticeships are a great way to gain skills and meaningful employment. Michigan ranks highly among the states for registered apprenticeship programs, many of them approved for GI Bill use. The MVAA is working with other agencies to expand the apprenticeships covered by the GI Bill, as they are great opportunities for veterans to gain skills and use the benefits they've earned. Now let's talk healthcare. Michigan has 5 VA medical centers, nearly 30 VA outpatient clinics, and 8 vet centers, which are counseling centers for veterans. Michigan is also one of the very few states with a Veteran Navigator program, which helps veterans and their families specifically with mental health and substance abuse needs. Just doesn't account for the great individual hospital systems and other healthcare resources out there. But even if you do get healthcare through your employer, I strongly encourage you to go see a veteran service officer about what benefits you may be eligible for, including VA healthcare. Remember, these are benefits you have earned for yourself and your family, and you'll be grateful down the road that you did so. To get connected to a VSO in Michigan, just call our 24/7 hotline at 1-800-MICHVET or visit our website at michiganveterans.com. So many of you may be thinking about continued service. There are many ways to do that, and one of them is through the Michigan National Guard. I have Senior Master Sergeant Kevin Shirkey and Sergeant First Class Joel Burkhart here to talk about that and some of those opportunities. But before they come on, here's a short video for you.
Thank you, Director Adams. Good afternoon, and welcome to this live event. I am Senior Master Sergeant Kevin Shirkey with the Michigan Air National Guard.
And I am Sergeant First Class Joel Burkhart with the Michigan Army National Guard.
So now you've proudly served your country, and as you're transitioning to civilian life, there will be things about the military service you will miss. In addition to the benefits, there's that shared camaraderie with others who wear the uniform and the sense of belonging. Find this with the Michigan National Guard.
In the Michigan National Guard, you can achieve your personal, professional, and educational goals, all while enjoying quality time with your family. When returning to Michigan, you can take advantage of many Michigan educational benefits to include up to 100% tuition assistance, grants and scholarships to numerous Michigan schools, transferring your current GI Bill, post 9/11 GI Bill, to your dependents or your spouse, and many other professional and educational benefits while serving in Michigan.
The Michigan National Guard provides an opportunity to serve part-time and continue to build and utilize the skills from your active duty career. With nearly 400 veteran-friendly employers and over 200 military career fields to explore, you can begin your civilian career while continuing your service at the same time. Through your continued service, you will continue to grow in your military career, giving you the ability to earn and capitalize on multiple retirements.
You will be able to take advantage of the same benefits you have been accustomed to throughout your military career. TRICARE Reserve Select is available for families for medical coverage. There are full-time job opportunities in both the military and the civilian workforce. Other benefits such as base exchange and commissary, tax exemptions, space aid travel, VA home loans, thrift savings plans, and multiple other military benefits are available to you and your family.
Most importantly, you will continue to help the people in your community when they need you most, while serving your nation with honor and pride. This is done through service to community, state, and nation. We serve our community, friends, and hometowns while responding in times of state emergency and natural disasters, and service overseas when needed in support of national defense. Recently, we've been activated to help with COVID-19 responses and flooding that took place in Michigan, while continuing our state partnerships in multiple overseas deployments.
You will find the opportunities you are looking for in Michigan. It is military service that fits your life. Learn more at minationalguard.dodlive.mil. Live here, work here, and serve here. Back to you, Director Adams.
Thanks, that's great stuff. Now, to be clear to those listening and watching, We want you here in Michigan. Now, we talked about employment, education, healthcare, and quality of life. We talked about opportunities for continued service. Now let's go to our Q&A. Does anyone have any questions on anything about life as a veteran in Michigan?
Thank you for that, Director Adams. We did get a few questions. And the first ones are for our friends in the National Guard, Sergeant Shirkey and Sergeant Burkhart. And somebody wants to know what kind of jobs are available in the Michigan National Guard if they were to join. And are there any kind of bonuses, or can I join in my old MOS, things like that?
Hey, thanks, Dave. I'll take that one. So there's over 150 job opportunities and MOSs from everything from aviation to engineering, infantry and field artillery on the Army side, to medical mechanics and maintenance. And you talked a little bit about bonuses. Currently, there are up to $20,000 in bonuses for prior service guys coming back into the National Guard. Follow-on question, you asked if you can stay in your MOS. You absolutely can. If you're qualified and you want to come back into Michigan and we have a job that's close to where you're living and you want to stay and doing that same position, we can help you get there. In addition to that, if you want to change your MOS and you've been doing what you've been doing long enough and you want to change and try something new, we can also help you to get there. And if you have any follow-on questions about that, definitely look out and look up Sergeant Shirkey or myself, and we can help you out from there.
So, Sergeant Shirkey, what kind of air facilities are there in Michigan? Our viewers are not very familiar with what you field as a reserve component of the Air Force. So what do we have in Michigan here?
Dave, great follow-up question. And we have two installations here in Michigan in regards to Battle Creek Air National Guard Base and Selfridge Air National Guard Base, which is over near Detroit. With that, we have two flying missions at Selfridge Air National Guard Base and a remote piloted mission over at Battle Creek Air National Guard Base.
Outstanding. Okay, I've got another question, and this one is education related for Sarah. And someone wants to know if they can use their GI Bill for something other than going to a college or a university?
Be used for many different career pursuit pathways.
Sarah, why don't you start over, because the first part of your statement was muted.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. That's a great question. There are a lot of opportunities to use the GI Bill for different career pursuits. So that could include certificate programs, on-the-job training, apprenticeship programs, flight training, and other non-college degree pathways. So really, we have a lot of opportunities available to pursue the different paths to someone's career choice. So we have a lot of that information available on our GI Bill overview site on MichiganVeterans.com. So for those who are interested in maybe where they can get started in exploring those options, we have a lot of opportunities available for how they can utilize that GI Bill benefit.
Yes, now, I might also add that due to recent legislation that is passed by our very own Senator Peters, there's a focus on expanding GI Bill eligibility for apprenticeships across the state. And with the thousands of apprenticeship programs that are out there, to see to see them become GI Bill certified is going to be a great future for our veterans who are seeking apprenticeships. All right, thank you, Sarah. So I guess this one is probably for me, and maybe maybe the Guard side wants to chime in. But what if my military skills don't translate to the civilian workforce? Will these companies still hire a veteran who may not have applicable skills? And I tell you, and I'm sure Sergeant Burkhart's dealt with this on the Guard side with Guard soldiers seeking employment. Our veteran-friendly companies, one of the training programs that they go through is military skills translation. So they'll look at your MOS, they'll look at your duty assignments, they'll look at your joint services transcript that's generated for everybody except the Air Force. They have the community college of the Air Force. And they will use skills translators to find the civilian occupation that best fits your military skill set. But even beyond that, if you look at the combat arms, for instance, the 13 Bravo cannoneers and the infantry people, they might not have skills that translate directly to the civilian workforce. But our veteran-friendly employers understand that basic skill set that you have, the values that come with being a veteran, the moral focus, the sense of duty and dedication, the sense of loyalty, and employers actively seek those kind of individuals, and they will help train you up in a civilian skill because they understand that core value. So when it comes to employment on the Guard and the Air side, Army and Air, for your Guard soldiers, do you find that's true, Sergeant and Sergeant?
Yeah, Dave, obviously we've worked together a few times, and always looking to help people get into the civilian sector and change jobs or move jobs where they are. And a lot of the employers that we have dealt with and talked to, they do come look for service members specifically for the duty, the loyalty, the commitment that they've shown in the military, and they're looking to give back as well to those soldiers. And along with that too, and you talked about employment, there is a lot of employment in the National Guard as well on the civilian side. So taking what you've already learned on the active duty side or the Air Force and bringing it back into the National Guard, that expands on what we know in the Michigan National Guard too, and brings your experiences back to us. Whether that's working on a part-time or coming on orders for a month or two, or an AGR job or a technician job or a contractor job with the Michigan National Guard. So yeah, a lot of the commitment and the loyalty and duty and just what you've learned in the military, outside employers are looking for that as well.
So while I got you both on, will you guys consider prior service individuals other than Army or Air Force?
Dave, absolutely. We would consider anybody with military service to transition over to us. And their skill set may be convertible right over into a specific specialty career field with us as well. So those skills may be convertible over to us, and they can be utilized right away and may be able to alleviate going off to another training school as well.
I see. Is that the same with the Army?
It is, Dave, and the Army side is the same. If you're coming off of active duty in the Marine Corps, the active duty Army, active duty Air Force, active duty Navy, and you want to transition to the Michigan Army National Guard, we'll definitely take you as a prior service and count your years on active duty still in the Michigan National Guard towards your retirement, and definitely come in and talk to a recruiter and then get you hooked up with everything that you need to do to continue to serve.
Well, that's good to know, just in case we have a Marine or a Coast Guards person listening in today. So it looks like we don't have any other additional questions right now. So that being the case, I'll turn it back over to Director Adams, see if she has closing thoughts.
So for everyone who joined, thank you so much for listening in today. Thank you to our panelists and speakers today. And just know that even if you've been out for a year or two, you can still contact the Michigan National Guard to see if there's opportunities. Again, a reminder, we're hosting a virtual hiring event on September 9th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you. You can find out more in the coming days on this Facebook page, the MVAA Facebook page, and LinkedIn pages, or you can reach us at 1-800-MISHVET anytime to learn more about this and the benefits you have earned for your service. I hope today has provided you some information that answers the question of why Michigan and gets you to consider Michigan in your future plans. Thanks for joining, and most importantly, thank you for your service. As a former soldier in the U.S. Army, I recognize the freedoms and opportunities that I have and that we have exist because people like you are willing to sacrifice for them. We recognize that here in Michigan. So stay well, and I hope you'll join us on September 9th for our virtual hiring event.